I just want to share it really, because what I've taken from this event that I'm writing about is that, like, life is too short sometimes, and time is brief. Time passes in the blink of an eye, and sometimes it runs away without you before you realise that it's happened, yeah? So everyone who's listening to this poem, yeah, I want you to do one thing. It's Thursday now, so let's say over the weekend or by the end of the weekend, please, 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 yeah, just phone someone, any person that you haven't spoken to for a while. Just phone them, one person. You've got a whole weekend. Even if you work weekends, I don't care, you're going to still have your evenings, or maybe if you do shifts, you might be able to do it in the morning, whatever. Phone someone. Because this poem that I'm going to read is about a friend of mine who I got some news about over the weekend that shocked me a lot, and it made me think, right, hold on a minute, I ain't even seen you for like 2 months, where have I been? And it just shows how fast time can fly. We can get wrapped up in our lives, and really and truly, like, what would our lives even be without certain people? So this is my poem called Turn It Off. And it's based on something that actually did really happen to me while I was driving to her house. I had to turn it off when Cisco started to play. On shuffle, the track started and I decided not today. The sentiment behind it, loving and bittersweet. Without you, girl, my life is incomplete. So I can't listen to that song today, because a life without you I refuse to contemplate. We can look at the odds and place optimistic bets, go around and around all the info in our heads. Stories from others flutter in, bringing hope, but I still feel that anxious lump in my throat. I still feel the overwhelming urge to just swing by and grasp you in my arms, and if I'm lucky, make you smile. Because incomplete is exactly what I'd be if you weren't able to share life's ups and downs with me. If you had to go away to a place I couldn't reach by phone, in this world of billions, I'd still feel alone. Through the toughest of times, you never cease to inspire. Your heroic strength I'll eternally admire. Somehow I know God will keep you safe and sound, because the world needs angels like you to stick around. This is just another challenge you'll overcome like the rest, and you'll be the same queen you always were with one reconstructed breast. Thank you. Okay, this one is for, it's actually a surprise for detail, because, yeah, we talked about this poem on the phone and then I couldn't find it and I felt like an idiot, because I was like, I'll send it to you. Little did I know, I only had it on a piece of paper tucked into my old poetry book from high school times, way before I even wrote it, so I don't know how it got in there because it doesn't belong there. But it wasn't on my laptop, and I'd actually thought I'd lost it, and I was like really sad, but now I found it. It's called Otra Noche Sin Dormir, which means another sleepless night. So if anybody, any of my insomniacs out there, whoop whoop, you're gonna possibly relate to this. Why do I just lie awake, defy my eyes and their desire to shut? The darkness shines down through my window, pouring like blood from a wound just cut. Tonight I won't be sleeping, for waking I'm too afraid, in case my eyes should open upon a world that somehow changed. Won't sleep, too scared that I could be consumed by my own dreams, bundled in their fabric, although it's ripped at the seams. Will they fool me? Will I think that the world's wrongs are now right, then wake up in the same gloomy world I fell asleep in last night? Will they show me something terrible, from which I can't escape? Will that something be reality in the morning when I awake? So I'm not sleeping, not tonight. My eyes are firmly peeled, so the darkness can't dance in my mind and distort what is real. My tired body needs a rest, as does my troubled mind. I lay down, but inner peace is something I still cannot find. A million thoughts are racing just below the speed of light, but I dare not sleep and free them to wreak havoc on the night. Nor will I release my dreams and allow them to descend. They'll just remain like spirits hovering above my bed. They'll have to wait to penetrate my mind, for they have no right. So I won't sleep at all. No, not at all tonight. This is going to be my last one, and it's quite long, so bear with me, but it's something that I feel really strongly about. I wrote it a long time ago, but what inspired me to kind of bring it to the stage today was a discussion I've been having on Facebook. Has anyone been reading in the news or in anything about the Human Zoo exhibition that's due to appear in the Barbican? Right. That pissed me off a lot, yeah? And so I posted the change.org. If anyone who's against that, obviously, most of us in this room, I would hope, if not, then you know where the door is. Basically, I posted the change.org thing on my page, and I was like, London, we need to stand up, tell them it's not welcome here, not now, not ever. And then I had a friend of mine come out kind of in support of it, and I was really surprised, because she's got a kind of performing arts theatre background, and she was all like, this is the beauty of theatre, we need to be educated, and like, she's one of my best friends. I was so shocked at what she said. I just thought, bro, you've got your head in the clouds, you need to bring it back down to earth. But one thing she said, I'm going to try and keep this brief, but one thing she said that really shocked me was, as a mixed race woman, mother of two, I believe that it's important to be fully aware of our history. Now, the Human Zoo does not mean you're fully aware of your history. You need to be fully aware of all the positive things in your history, not just about slavery, exploitation, all of the things that are constantly pushed in our face. Like, look at Django, 12 years a slave, and then now you want to do an exhibition of black people being treated like animals in a zoo. Are you dumb? Like, come on, seriously, this is part of a wider political kind of issue here. And I was like, you need to understand the kind of political, social implications of the issue. Thank you. So yeah. So this poem is called His Story. It was written a long time before the Human Zoo, and I'm planning to do my own kind of lyrical tackling of that issue at some point soon as well. Possibly outside the Barbican, but let's see what happens. So yeah, so I'm actually quite fired up now. I need to take a deep breath. That didn't work, but yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna go in. Isn't history just his story? Not even hers, because women's views aren't a part of his story. We're listening to their truths while other truths we're ignoring. We're there snoring, time to wake up, it's a cold morning. Why is it, and who is the man who wrote this story? Why is it that he never did say sorry? For all that he excluded when he wrote his story, for all the false data that he recorded poorly, for seeing the black man and rewriting his story, enslaving and raping and taking his glory. Why was it up to him to choose which story got printed on the pages and which got ignored? See, there's something in the air that smells kind of funny when the power's held in the white hand that holds the money. If I were Africa, couldn't deny they took it from me. Rumble in the jungle, there's a hunger in my tummy. A hunger for the truth, that insatiable pain, still fighting like the candle that still burns in the rain. If you listen to their lies, they will turn you insane, turn gods into peasants, turn you to a slave. But who is to blame when you read his story? Go to the schools, see them teach his story. Go to the church, hear them preach his story. And who are you not to believe his story? See, his story is a one of a kind. Inconvenient details just faded with time. They never made it to the pages. Their spots taken in your mind by some other information that was made to turn you blind. See, that story wasn't his when it was written and designed. But he has taken center stage and we are sitting on the side. Criminalized if our views don't fit in with the lies, but they'll know the word defiance because it's written in my eyes. See, peace and harmony is a doctrine they despise, so they would write about the wars they used to divide. They would write about the chains with which they tied human beings using profit to justify the crime. Take the human word and pretend that it's divine. Holy books in modern languages not written at that time. What is this? Our trust in lies will lead to our demise. Offer newspapers the truth, guess what? They'll decline. So his story's thriving out there, still being written. Sorry. Money talks in the West, and what do we do? Listen. There's an army of zombies in America and Britain, caged in ignorance, not even knowing they're imprisoned. And if they found out, it would blow their mind. They would want a refund because they've been sold a lie. But if every conscious scholar worked overtime, they still couldn't restore all the stolen time, all the stolen knowledge, all the stolen facts. What they stole from the past will be stolen back. It's a heavy thing to carry with a broken back, but I'll never stop trying till I've shown them that his story is not my history. Gonna find all the parts he thought he hid from me. The play with the missing scene is no longer a mystery. They came before Columbus, but Columbus told it differently. And the curriculum, taxes and tuition fees, we pay them to turn his story into history. Why is it that master is in the name of his degree? PhDs for so-called doctors who don't even heal. What? Oh. PhDs for so-called doctors who don't even heal. They only read, write and speculate, regurgitating his story, helping it to elevate. His power and supremacy they use the past to demonstrate, his accomplishments the only thing the books can celebrate. But don't ask why the plague of London was so vicious. Ask why they didn't have hygienic sewage systems, when if you look back at ancient Aztecs and Egyptians, they were more civilized than 17th century Britain. And don't question the idea that Jesus Christ was white with long straight hair and bright brown eyes, bright blue eyes. Don't question the barbarism of all the tribes that the missionaries brought from the darkness to the light. His story says he saved them from worthless existence. His story neglects to acknowledge their wisdom. His story